Hello there.
I think we should reintroduce ourselves. I'm Rose.
I'm Barbara.
And we're the bright side of crazy. Or the crazy side of bright. However you want to say it.
Some days we're a little brighter than others. Some days we're a little crazier than others.
I'm feeling a little crazy, but the good kind of crazy.
I'm feeling kind of bright right now, but it's because I had coffee and someone brought me cookies.
Yes. Cookies make Barbara shine. How are you after Christmas?
I'm doing well. Like I said, you got me cookies, so I'm happy. Fresh cookie in my belly. Happy Barbie.
Happy Barbie. Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year almost.
Almost New Year. It's hard to believe. I feel like 2020 has been like
27 months.
And time is bizarre. So I was thinking back to, I thought that I missed a friend's birthday this year. And I didn't, but it was just over the summer. It was in June. And I'm like, did I miss that? What? And then I thought for some reason my trip to Sedona was in May, but it was in June. So like the whole time thing, it's like a time traveler experiment in my brain is what it feels like. I feel like it seems unreal because there was just so much going on and
so little going on at the same time.
Right. But I totally thought that I missed a friend's birthday. I had to go back on Amazon because I remembered buying something on Amazon and sending it direct to their house. But for some reason, I thought it was last year. So I had to go back in my Amazon purchases to see like, oh no, that was really this year. Damn. So yeah, I want it to be over January 1st, like magic fairy dust. And I know that that's not probably going to happen.
No. Nope. Especially now that there's a new strain that they've found. Who knows, this nightmare of weirdness may start all over again.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I have no problem with a lockdown, though. I'm totally down for that.
Well, because it doesn't affect us, really. Yeah. I mean, we're still going to work. We're essential enough in our 9 to 5 that we still get to go to work every day, whether we physically are at the job. Mm-hmm. We can log in from our couches.
That was so beautiful. I would wake up 5 minutes before I had to clock in. Put myself down on my couch, clock in. Please, people, this was not a Zoom thing. Nobody was looking at me. It is just listening to a voicemail line, making a few phone calls, and waiting for a text message to roll in and answer a couple emails. This was like the sweetest gig. I need this to happen again.
Now, for me, I don't know if it was my antiquated technology at home with my older laptop or my slower internet because I live in a dead zone. But everything moved so slow. Like trying to send emails took forever. If I would not stay logged in or active on my email session for very long, I get logged out of the server, and then it takes 3 minutes to log back in. So mine was just very frustrating. And I feel like I could do things way faster and more efficiently at the office. So I actually like being back at the office, even though I work way harder when I'm physically there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with any lags, totally. So I didn't have to be there. That's all that mattered.
True.
All that mattered. So I am ready for another lockdown. I'm sorry, people, but this is what I do in the winter. And wouldn't it be a good time to just hibernate? Just like 6 weeks. Let's just hibernate for 6 weeks. I've got enough toilet paper to last me. I'm not hoarding, but I've got, some backup because it started to dwindle again. I'm good.
Well, I thought I had enough, but I realized two rolls leave my house every weekend with my daughter. So I go through my toilet paper faster than I go through my toilet paper. And I'd gotten these big, like, 4 rolls per roll mega thingies. So it's really more like, I don't know, 8 rolls a week that are disappearing. Matter of fact, I don't think she took anything yesterday, so.
Yeah, toilet paper math is weird.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure. The tube doesn't seem to get any smaller or much smaller. I don't know.
It's strange, but I have plenty and I can order my groceries through Amazon and have them delivered. I'm totally down to just chill at home. I'm ready.
I think I may have to contact the Scott Company now that we're talking about it, because in 9 months, I've not been able to find my regular toilet paper.
How interesting.
Yeah. I like Scott, because they're the original toilet paper. I like the one with the ripples. But I can't find it. All they have is this single ply that you can, like, see through.
Mm-hmm.
And they tricked me once with that, because I was like, oh, there's my Scott paper. Nope. That's the only Scott paper I've been able to find since the pandemic started.
Yeah, and that's no good.
I found other stuff, but, I have brand loyalty, Scott Company. And I would really like to use you again. Thank you.
So my go-to is the Charmin in the green package that is sensitive and has lotion on it. Yeah.
For your sensitive tushy.
My sensitive tushy. Yeah, I need some delicate care in my bits and pieces.
A whole 5 minutes on toilet paper.
We've come a long way from Mr. Whipple.
Don't squeeze the Charmin. I used to love those commercials.
He was a pretty awesome dude.
Yeah.
As we're recording this, yesterday would have been my birthday. I am 49 years old, almost a half of a century old.
Happy birthday to you.
This year is wonky for birthdays. Thankfully, I guess. I've never had really great birthdays. The last couple, because of some really great friends, have, wanted to make up for that. And some of those friends had a 50th birthday this year. And she was really looking forward to a trip to Florida. And that was nixed. And 50 is kind of a big one.
It is?
Yeah. So birthdays just suck ass this year too. So, but again, I'm really, I guess, being an exiled child has paid off, that I am not too shaken by this or spending Christmas by myself. Like, I'm really down to be by myself and not, party.
Well, we, speaking of being by yourself, we did have a different Christmas this year. My daughter-in-law's dad is a nurse, and he's currently treating COVID patients.
Oh.
So my father is not doing, health-wise, not doing well right now. And so since her father is treating COVID patients, we decided that probably wouldn't be the best to get together.
Right.
Me and my son and daughter-in-law, we see each other every day. And, I see my parents, she sees her parents, but thought best not to commingle. So it was separated this year, which is just different because, we're small enough that we would do it together.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, real small this year.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It's the whole cool. Cooking small thing. That's what gets me. I still see all my people just in different days. It's the cooking small.
Cooking small. Yeah, that's very different.
Yes.
I remember during my divorce, like having to edit and just cook for me sometimes if my son was gone. Like, how do I do that?
Yeah, I still have a 25-pound turkey in the freezer that I anticipated cooking for Christmas.
Mm.
So, possibly New Year's. Still thinking about it.
Well, maybe a good 4th of July turkey.
I'm not going to keep him that long. I'll still cook it this winter. But it just, I, planned ahead and got a turkey for Christmas. And remember when we were talking about how they had all these, after Thanksgiving or near Thanksgiving, we were talking about how the farmers had a surplus of these large birds. Mm-hmm. So what did I do? I went and bought one of these 25-pound birds. And, all 2 of us for dinner didn't need that.
Oh, so speaking of Christmas, I had my grandson over just Friday through Saturday morning the week before. It was just a very short visit this time. So I tried to get him up at 7:00 in the morning. And, this is a week before Christmas. I mean, he understands presents because his birthday was not that long ago. I don't know if he gets the concept of Santa because he didn't get to see Santa this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I told him at 7:00, like, I think Santa was here. We should get up and go open presents.
I would just like to interject that I don't care how quick the visit is. I am never waking my grandchildren up at 7:00 in the morning unless we are on our way to Disney. But please continue.
Well, I had to return him home by noon. So we've got to get presents opened, breakfast, playing with presents, putting the toys away, getting dressed. Like there's a whole lot of things that need to happen by 11:30 a.m. to get him home by noon. So
okay, fair enough.
7:00. So he looks at me and says, I need to go check, and rolls over to go back to sleep. He is so like...
So you need to go check. Grandma needs to go check.
I need to go check.
Okay.
So I did not go check. I went and took a shower, and then I was drying my hair, and I was being as loud as possible to get this child up. So 7:30, he's kind of giving me the stink eye, like, what are you doing? And I said, I really heard Santa. I think we need to go look and see if there's presents. And he was a Santa denier. He's like, no, Santa was not here. And I said, but I heard him. And he's like, there's no presents. And I said, I really believe there are. So I had to like force the child downstairs to receive presents.
There's something wrong with you for waking him up, and there's something wrong with him for not wanting to go down and check. People are weird.
So when we got to his house that day and all of the presents were then under the tree, he's like, oh! First of all, he thought all of them were his. And
because they were all his at your house, right?
Yes, it was his house. And then he was like excited, like, okay, let's open presents. And they were not doing Christmas at that time. So they're like, no. And like, it was just like, but I just opened presents.
Oh, well, now that's a gift that just keeps giving, because you got him all hyped for presents, dropped him off, and then got to giggle that he wasn't going to get, not that he couldn't open them, but that they would be struggling with explaining that.
Yeah, it was going to be later in the day for them still as well.
So still that day, not, okay.
They were waiting for some relatives to come by, which is why I had to get him there earlier. So
I see.
Yeah. Yeah, so before I arrived, his mom had a large Toy Story Woody doll in the bedroom that she did not hide well enough. And
there's a snake in my boot.
So he saw it and was quite excited about it. And so when I got him to my house, he's looking in the bag, and the bag is not that big, but I guess spatial things aren't really clicking for him yet.
Oh, gotcha.
Because he's like looking in the bag, and I'm like, what are you looking for? And he goes, the big Woody. And I'm like, I don't have the big Woody. It's not here.
Gigi's been looking for the big Woody for a while.
Tell me about it. And so when he opened his presents, he again, where is the big Woody? I don't have the big Woody. So, yeah, I'm sure later that day he did finally receive, which now sounds really bad. Thank you, Barbara.
You're welcome. This is not a child's program. Childlike, maybe.
Yeah, so that was fun and interesting. So he's only 3 and he just turned 3, so maybe it will click a little better next year. I don't know, maybe when he gets to see Santa and put all of those concepts together, like, oh, Santa is the giver of the gifts. Okay. Yeah.
We've never been big on going to see Santa. I mean, I guess when my kids were little, we kind of did. But I was never one of the, let's stand in line at the mall to go see Santa or anything. It was more kind of happenstance, or we'd do the Christmas parties at the rec center, but like I've never taken the grandkids to see Santa. Right? It's just not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now that the mall Santas, you have to buy their package and you can't even take your own picture. That's kind of bunk.
Yeah.
So
there's lots of smaller places, though. There's like the Ironworks place and that has Santa come in that doesn't do that. So I like those kind of events to do that. But,
yeah,
not this year.
No, not this year. It was a Zoom Santa year. For other people, still not for us. It was just a weird year all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
And thank goodness we are on the countdown.
On the countdown.
It's the final countdown. Okay, that was the closest I'm going to get to singing that. And I realized how bad it sounded as I started.
There was I don't even know the name of the show, but it was some sort of song lyric competition game show. And I was really good at that. And it's not the one that's on now. This was, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And the final countdown was the theme that was always on it. They had a live band in there.
Oh, okay.
And I was so good at that game show. Like, I knew it. And it was a lot of 80s music. I bet you would have been good at it, too.
Possibly. I'm better at the lyrics than I am with, like, when the music plays and people are like, oh, you know what that is? I'm like, no, I really don't a lot of the times. Now, as soon as the lyrics start, I'm like, oh, yeah, I absolutely know what that is. But I have a hard time putting...
Yeah, that's this Shazam show that's on now. That's the one, yeah. But this one was older, and I want to say that Wayne Brady was the host of it, but I could be wrong on that.
I don't know.
I
Speaking of, I saw a commercial for, what is it, The Price is Right? Is that what Drew Carey's doing now?
Yes.
He has like a goatee and a mustache. I saw the commercial probably twice before it registered that it was Drew Carey.
Yeah, he's totally changed, right?
Yeah. and then it followed up with something with Wayne Brady. So whatever.
Let's make a deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't watch game shows, so I'm lucky that I remembered that much. But I was completely shocked at how different he looked, from the Drew Carey show days.
Completely, yeah. So what was happening with you?
Hanging out with the kids one-on-one. Having fun. So I do have a funny Amelia story. Okay. That's my oldest granddaughter. She's 5.5. And she likes to tell me how it is. So over the weekend, we were playing with her dolls. And she has, she's very much in the Disney princess kind of time frame or age range. So we have Belle and she's a redhead. So we have lots of Anna dolls and things like that. So she has an Anna whose hair is in braids, and she had a crown on. Well, when the dolls come, they're kind of like stitched onto their head so that they're not supposed to come off. So she had gotten it off, but I put it back on, and the way they fit, they're pretty snug on their head. Anyway, so she took it off, and evidently it got stuck. And so it pulled part of her hair out of her braid and was sticking out off her head. And she came out all upset and told me that the doll's hair was messed up and now it looked like grandma. Yeah.
Wow.
The doll's hair was messed up like grandma's.
Sweet.
Right? No, granted, when the kids are over, I don't bother doing my hair. It's, put in a clip or put in a ponytail or whatever. And at this point, I had not showered for the day. But yeah, it was like, really? Thanks. So I had to promptly go look in the mirror to see how bad my hair really was. But in all fairness, we did have at least one WWE SmackDown already that day that she beat me up during. But yeah, the doll's hair was messed up and looked like me.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the reality that I have now. And I did have a bit of a health scare.
Oh.
Yeah, I was putting on lotion. So fresh out of the shower, I'm putting on lotion, and I do not put lotion on near a mirror, of course, because, I'm late 40s and we don't do that to ourselves. So I put, you put the big glob of lotion on, at least I do, and I kind of put it in different spots and then start rubbing it in. So I'm rubbing it in on my back and kind of down my backside. and I feel a lump while I'm doing this. And I'm like, oh my God. But I'm already in this big downward motion, like from as far up my back as I could reach down. So I wasn't exactly sure where the lump was. So then I proceeded to go back up my body and, okay, where was I when I felt the lump? Because, of course, my hand had slid probably a foot down before it fully registered in my brain. So now I'm trying to feel my body to figure out where this lump is, because clearly I'm going to have this checked out. And eventually I can't figure out where it is. So I go to the mirror. It was a lotion glob. You know, the gooey bit that kind of sits on the edge of the nozzle. So I had rubbed it, but the reason I couldn't find it is because, of course, I had rubbed it flat at that point. It was just enough of it that there was still a white kind of spot on my back. But yeah, kind of freaked out for a couple minutes about, oh my God, what is that? I'm going to have that checked out. I can't see it because it's on my back. And no, just a piece of lotion.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I should be extra hydrated in that little blob there. But yeah, thought I was going to need to go and have a biopsy of a lotion glob. So there was my weekend. I had bad hair and a glob of lotion on my back like Quasimodo.
That's hilarious. I'm glad I'm not the only one who does stupid shit like that. And you are absolutely right. I am not looking at myself in the mirror putting lotion on. No.
Well, I have a floor-length mirror that is, I can't really describe my room, but there are 3 aisleways, if you will, in my bedroom, you know, kind of around my bed. And if I'm standing in the largest one where my clothes are, where my lotion is, I would be fully visible inside this mirror. So I had to place myself, specifically walk away from the lotion to not stand in front of the mirror and bend over to put the lotion on. And I really didn't want to go back and look. But I had to. But I'm glad I did because, you know, it saved me a whole trip to the doctor and explaining why I can't find that lump now. You know, just old stuff.
Old stuff. But it's beginning to be a new year and we're going into it. And so I am kind of pre-prepping. I want to move more into taking better care of myself. And I know I've mentioned before on here that I'm getting up an hour early and I was exercising and meditating. And so this week I'm kind of paying more attention to food. And so I have ordered my groceries through Amazon and I got all organic because with the DNA testing that I had done just a couple months ago, there's a lot of additives and stuff that don't work with my body. Probably everybody's body, honestly.
Right.
I need to be more careful. And so buying organic and making sure that it's as pure as possible is something that I'm going to be paying attention to this year. So I'm kind of easing into that. And what I don't want to happen is to make a New Year's resolution and get burnt out the first week, because that's normally what happens for me. And so as I am still continuing to coach myself, I am going to do better at it this year and ease into it instead of, all gung-ho on January 1st. And then by the 10th, I'm like, what New Year's resolution? I don't know what you're talking about.
I know lots of people that do go all gung-ho and then burn themselves out. And so, I know not to do that. Mm-hmm. But then I tend to go the other way where, I don't want to go too far into it. So, I'll reduce my cookie intake today. And I always play the game with myself where okay, if I walk this far, that burns, that much calories and that's a cookie. So, it's a wash kind of thing. But I tend to go the other way where if I don't start or I don't fully commit, then I can't be disappointed when I didn't reach those goals. Mm. And I've put my built-in excuse. So I'm going to try not to do that this year.
Is everything measured by cookies?
My waistband is. Well, but I guess my New Year's resolution, if anything, is going to be to get in better shape. Mm-hmm. And take better care of myself. And I do pretty good I mean, I guess cookies are my cheat always.
Mm-hmm.
I can be really good on a lot of other stuff, but, if there's a cookie there, it's going in my face.
Yeah, besides the organic and, less processed foods, I have to drink more water. And so I've been easing into that as well. So, I haven't had coffee in a little bit. I still have some tea. I still have some tea at home, but it's not soda. I'm drinking a soda now, but
I used my surgeries in the past as an excuse not to get in shape. I was scared to do anything too physical.
For good reason.
Yeah, for good reason. I've been literally gutted like a fish and sliced open several times through my muscles, and have had to have muscle repairs and whatnot. So I was scared, and I did what was required when I was in physical rehab and things like that to heal. But then once, my doctors went away and I kind of just quit. I did too much after one of my surgeries and needed, a muscle repair. And so then I was scared again to do too much. So I let that be an excuse and then COVID was my other excuse, I got the COVID-15 or whatever. So I let those things be an excuse, but I don't want to let them be an excuse anymore. And then we had, my son over Thanksgiving was diagnosed as being a type 1 diabetic. So I want to meet with a nutritionist in addition to, physically doing more. I think it would be good to meet with a nutritionist, not just for, what I can do, but what will help him as well. And of course, if we cut out sugars and carbs, that can't do anything but be helpful and beneficial for me as well. Because we eat together quite often, my son and his family and myself. They take pity on the poor single lady that lives next door.
I'm not so sure that's true. I'm also looking at supplements too, because with that DNA test, there was some things that my body was deficient in. And in order to make it work better for me, I should fuel it with things that make it work better.
Yes.
So the supplements came today. I did not even open the package yet because we were whisked away.
You mean because I changed the schedule? Yes. We have something in the works, and hopefully we'll have more info next week. But the timing on it changed kind of at the last minute, which was beneficial, but again at the last minute. So
yeah. It was totally cool, and I'm excited. I hope that it all works out, and you guys will love it too. So, well, hopefully you'll love it. There might be some pictures you don't want to look at, but
that's okay. This noise, that's how you keep scrolling. Just go on by if you don't want to see it.
So what else is happening? There's just so much. So I was reading that there is a bill to stop unwanted or surprise medical bills, and it was lumped in with the stimulus. So I know how you feel about that.
Right.
I feel the same, but why has it taken this long? Like, that's kind of a nonsensical thing. Like, it shouldn't have even happened in the first place.
Right. I don't understand why you need laws for stuff that shouldn't even happen.
Yeah.
I mean, because they did happen, but...
And they've been happening with frequency for years. So I'm just annoyed by the United States, and I want to flee.
But, I don't know that I still believe that we're probably the best country in the world. Mm-hmm. So we can flee to somewhere that looks greener. The pastures look greener now, but is it? Should we just stay here and take care of stuff here and make it better?
So I listened to this podcast, and it's this guy named David Ridgen, and it's a Canadian CBC thing, and it's called Somebody Knows Something, and it's been on for years, but I recently found it as I'm researching all of these podcasts and I'm listening. It's all true crime. These are murders that happened. And he did a documentary years ago about some African American youths that were murdered in Georgia, I believe. Georgia. I think Georgia. In the South. Maybe Louisiana. I'm so sorry. It's been a while since I heard it, but he's heard that particular one. But he speaks with emotion, which is very interesting for a man.
Oh, okay.
To speak with emotion. And you can hear the care and concern in his voice. And even when he was talking to this woman, and she was just rattling on some really racist shit, trying to sugarcoat it, he wasn't shaken by it. He didn't say the things that I would say. He just let her go on, unreactionary, and said to the African American man that he was with that, this is not the time to do this. And he was totally apathetic to the African American man and could, kind of calm him down in a way and make him realize that his anger was not going to change her. And it was really interesting in the way he did it, so respectfully. And through all of the series of podcasts, you learn that he's a vegetarian, he's an atheist. I would have never guessed the atheist thing. That one was a surprising thing based on the way he was talking. But the tone in his voice is always happy through these murders and everything that he's talking about. And I'm like, is everybody in Canada like that? Is everybody so nice? Is everybody so understanding? And I just really want to reach out and say, hey, is this what Canada is really like? Because I want to join. Except it's cold.
It is colder. Well, and I think that, at least what gets portrayed is that Canadians are more laid back, more respectful. I don't know if that's the case or that's just, their public media people not letting the negative Canadian stories out, trickle down to the United States. But, we're kind of like the crackheads, on the first floor.
Yeah. The weirdos in the basement.
Right. Well, now Mexico's the basement. So, and I wasn't saying Mexicans are weirdos. I'm just saying we're not the basement of the continent. So, we're the first floor people.
The weirdos in the first floor. Thank you.
Weirdos on the first floor. Like you live, there's the shops on the first floor and then you have apartments above. We're the little oddity shop on the first floor.
You got that right. So, listening to that podcast and all of the horrific things that he is uncovering to get to the truth, and the tone and how he speaks is, I find, astonishing. So, I'm leaning towards Canada. Just based on this man's voice.
Well, as high strung as I can be, one ability I do have is to just listen to people and not react. Because I have lots of people that try to get reactions out of me. Mm-hmm. I have some very animated characters in my life. Not giving them the reaction that they want is something that I'm pretty good at. And where inside I am, you crazy mother, blah, 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 blah. My inner Italian is jumping up and down and...
Hands are going.
Yeah, hands are going. Flailing arms and cuss words are coming out. But nope, I just stay there, try to stay as cool as a cucumber. Although my face does give it away sometimes. I'm able to look at you like you are a fucking moron. Even if I don't mean to. And sometimes they see it. But yeah, that's what I try to do. Live to fight another day. Do not add their shit to my spare bedroom.
Oh, so good.
I did work on the physical spare bedroom.
Oh,
by
yeah?
the way. Yeah.
How did that feel?
Good. I removed a humongous box that literally sat on top of a chest of drawers forever that I put it up there so the kids wouldn't get in it. I had no idea what was in the box. Literally could not even remember what was in the box. So went through it, and the contents of the box that I did not actually do something with now takes up like a 2x2 cube on top of the dresser instead of this box that literally my grandchildren could fit inside of.
The missing paperwork you've been looking for in there?
Nope.
No, darn it.
Nope, the box of important papers is still missing. Don't know where that is yet, but more stuff is coming out.
Awesome.
So, I have Mama Muskie's fishing report and my clairvoyance thing have converged.
Oh.
So, you remember a couple weeks ago we talked about the whole brownies, cheesecake. I made brownie cheesecake.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we were fishless. Completely gone, no fish. I cast the net out and I got one. So we got a fish on the line again.
Okay.
But this fish, he's most definitely a fish. This one is no doubt a fish. However, he is breaking the rules and he's combining things.
Oh.
Right? So this is where the clairvoyance whole thing and the fish comes together. So the two long-term fish that we had British fish and we had Hungarian fish.
Mm-hmm.
And the British fish was the one that needed the $15,000 loan.
Mm-hmm.
And the Hungarian was the one that set me up for a couple asks, but didn't actually do the ask. He hinted around, but never actually came for it. So anyhow, one was an architect. The other lived in Cleveland. The new fish is an architect from Cleveland. What the heck? So now here's the funny thing. Well, there's lots of funny things with finding these male bottom-feeding catfish on the internet. This one started out when I first saw his profile, he was an engineer.
Ah.
Once we connected and I looked back at his profile to remind myself who I was talking to, he is now an architect. It changed in a day.
That's a lot of schooling to happen in a day.
Right. Now, I asked him what he did to see what he would say. So I think that maybe he started, I don't know if he changed it, kind of after we connected, or if he was still in the process of creating his account when I snagged him on the line, or what. But I had several rules or several tells that I look for to know for sure it's a fish. And this one is not following those rules. So one of them is he did go to a college out of the country. This one is another Oxford. This is Oxford Brookes University, another British schooled fish. Ha! Schooled. I cracked myself up. One of the things is they always use the proper name. They don't typically have nicknames. This one, his name is Dave, not David. The very first one I've ever had that did not have the full proper name. So I've got Dave. Another thing the fish usually have is they're widowed. They're a widower. Nope. Fish has an ex-wife. What the hell, Dave? And the other thing I found is the children tend to be 15. I figure that's because they're on the cusp of, if you're looking for a woman, she might not want someone with, a 3, 4, 5-year-old, but a 15-year-old's old enough that they're almost out of the house and young enough that they're not complete asses. This one does not have a 15-year-old. She's 11. So he's thrown me on 3 of my things that I know to look for. Completely messing me up. But now this one I'm actually, he wants to go real fast. And I'm having to slow him down because he says he's from Ireland. I know an Irish accent like nothing. And I'm not ready to hear an accent that is not Irish, which I'm sure it is going to be not Irish. I wasn't quite ready for that. So he wanted to speak last night, and I texted him this morning and said, "Oh, sorry, I fell asleep. I just was not ready yet." But then I may have told you before, sometimes I wonder if these are the same people.
Right.
That I'm talking to the same people over and over. Because every once in a while they'll say something, or that's similar to another, or they're on the same time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Like the British and the Hungarian fish were absolutely on the same time frame.
Yeah.
They both left the country around the same time, both had an emergency around the same time. There was even a COVID scare at the same time. So they have to be linked in some way, but I've spoken to them. They are not the same person, maybe the same organization. So this one, because I fully feel that he could be someone I've spoken to in the past, I let him know about the most prominent fish, the British and the Hungarian. And so I told him that I thought it was odd that, we combined the two. So a handsome architect and a guy from Cleveland. And of course here's the other thing, the other architect that I talked to, which was the Hungarian, his profile said he was in Pataskala, Ohio, and it turned out he was in Tampa, Florida. Well, this fish is also an architect. It said he was in Ashley, Ohio, and turns out he was really in Cleveland. So, am I talking to the same architect? Maybe. So I told him that I had talked to these two men before and not met them, but let him know that, in case he is one of them, I kind of threw the bait or chummed the water a little bit with it, if you will. He just basically said it was interesting. And so I made some sort of comment that maybe the universe was just leading me towards him, which he just gobbled right up. So I am saying stuff to this one that, like I said, chum in the water on this one a little bit. But this one's already talking about meeting and all of this, which, of course, we can't. So, but, who knows? Maybe the holidays, he's just throwing stuff out there. That's what's going on now. Oh, then there was another thing. There was a fish from New York. And this fish never asked for anything. He was always real sporadic in our communications. There would be days or even weeks would go by. I don't know how someone from New York even ended up on the site because I can only search 250 miles away. So he had, I never thought that would go anywhere and told him I wasn't interested in pen pal, blah, blah, blah. Anywho, so this new fish, Dave, when we're discussing that he's now 2 hours from Columbus, where I live, he says that distance is an issue and he would come see me even if he was in New York.
How interesting.
Yes. Now, could it be coincidence? Yes. But I just think it's weird that the one city he picks is a city that there was a fish in. And that fish never did ask for anything. He just disappeared.
Well, there's fish probably in every city.
Oh, absolutely. But just the fact that he didn't say even if I was in Buffalo or Los Angeles. He said New York, where there was a fish. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Let the games begin. We have a new fish.
What do you think you'll do different this time?
So I'm going to let him know how wealthy I am.
Oh.
So I'm being a little more, the other ones I would say things like we barely know each other. Don't you think it's too soon for that? I would be very like a normal girl would. Mm-hmm. This one I've kind of let him know that I'm a little gun shy. However, I'm ready to go. So I don't know. I probably tell him I love him, within 3 days. That tends to make things happen.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm still winging it on this one. Like I said, I didn't expect to get another one before the end of the year.
Could you put a message out to see if he would come to Columbus to meet you?
Oh, yeah. He had said that, he would come down, for Christmas dinner.
Oh.
Yeah. And of course I chuckled about it because I'm like I don't even know you. So he's said things like, do you think because he knows my family is really close and I hope they would be okay with you dating an Irish man. And so I'm like, oh my God, they would absolutely love it. And so I've coming off as very receptive.
Okay. That might spur the immediate need because that's a perfect opportunity for an accident to happen.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But what's weird is I've reached out to Hungarian Fish a couple times because he was in the hospital and then he was coming back to the U.S. So, it could have been a plane crash or whatever. I have not heard from him. He's had enough of my shenanigans, I guess. And he just will not message me back.
The hospitals in those countries are working overtime.
I guess.
And not just on COVID.
So I think I'll wait till New Year's Day and I'll probably poke all of them again. Just wanted to say Happy New Year. Hope you find the love of your life. I'm sorry it wasn't it. Send violins. We'll see.
We'll see. It is certainly interesting fishing in those waters online.
It really is. And of course, I'm only on the one dating site. And at this point, I have gone to only fishing. I'm not looking for real humans on there. I did snag one by mistake. And that was a mistake. But I'm strictly looking for entertainment value now on the fishing front. And it saddens me how many there are out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that I have a sense of humor about it, have now moved on to a different adventure from it. But yeah, if I was truly looking, I was truly looking, for a date, possibly love, when I started, but I'm glad I didn't count on finding it because boy, would I have been sorely disappointed.
Yeah, it's choppy waters out there.
It is. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it.
But now let's focus on the bright sides. It is a new year.
Almost.
Christmas is done. Kind of glad the holidays are done. There's no New Year's parties probably happening. I wonder what they're going to do with the ball drop. Like, that being virtual is kind of like weird in thinking about.
Well, but we're here in Ohio. It's always been virtual for us.
I know, but there was always a crowd. I just think about watching the Macy's parade and with nobody on the streets. And it didn't have the same energy even watching it on TV.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what the ball drop is going to look like this year.
Did you see I know we're kind of going back in time now, but did you see the coverage of the Rockefeller Center tree lighting?
No.
So normally, of course, there's hundreds of people there to fill Rockefeller Center. Why can I not say Rockefeller?
Because you're thinking of the Flintstones?
I wasn't, but now I am.
I got to tell you, I got to slip this in. So I did research on Dinky Doggy, and it was a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, but it was an Australian Hanna-Barbera. I didn't even know there was a thing. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Continue on this tree lighting thing.
Okay. So they had closed it, only select few people could actually be present, people that had to do with it on site. Everybody else, they're just going to do a virtual lighting. And to make sure that there were not crowds, they lined buses up around Rockefeller Center so that people could not get close.
Huh.
So you know what they did? They crowded shoulder to shoulder on the other side of the buses to be able to peer through the windows of the buses. And, in the 6 inches between those buses, people are literally like cheek to cheek on top of each other trying to film it.
Worse.
So all they did was push them farther away and closer together. I know it's not the people's fault who put it on. They did their best, but come on, people. Common effing sense.
Yeah, just really watch it on TV. It's not that great. I'm sure there was a camera there.
Oh yeah, they're filming it and all of that. But yeah, just people literally shoulder to shoulder, and because they're trying, especially between the buses, when it's like I said, like 6 inches apart, people are, someone's on their knees, someone's standing above them, like the hear no evil, see no evil monkey stacked on top of one another, like a totem pole.
A totem.
It was so stupid. And you could tell that they were tourists as well. Like, those are not just New Yorkers. There are people from other places coming to visit to see that. And then Gee, I wonder why we can't stop the spread.
Oh, people, come on. We just got to get over this. Stay home.
Yeah.
Stay home. I want to stay home.
You like to stay home.
I do.
I don't mind staying home, but I mean, I like doing stuff. There hasn't been a whole lot of stuff to do.
I did file the business paperwork today, so everything we do this upcoming year is a tax write-off because of our business. Ta-da!
And Rose is now linked to me in case I do something stupid. Ha ha! It's her idea.
So that's the bright side. We have a business that will net us income and travel. So if you would like us to review your hotel, whatever, we are available.
Your Airbnb.
Yeah.
Your restaurant. Your spa services.
Yes.
If you want us to come to your town.
On it. Just let us know.
We'll bring whatever toy we're currently hosting that week.
See, when you say things like that, it comes out all weird. Stop it.
Let me tell you. So I was talking to one of our coworkers today, and I was telling her about about some gifts that I ordered, and I have not received any tracking information on them. But I told her they were adult gifts, so it's okay if they come later. I simply meant they were presents for people over 18. Not that they were like for the little kids who would be disappointed if they didn't get them on Christmas. I meant gifts for people that were adults. And I said adult gifts. And I got the look like, are you giving people dildos? So yeah, I realize that what I say does not always come out how I mean it.
And with you, we never really know. So we always take it to that other. That's just you.
I know. There's a high likelihood of whatever I'm saying has some sort of shady, goofy, or demented meaning. I get that. But sometimes when I say an adult gift, I really just mean a gift for an adult. Not whips, chains, and, heated lotion. None of that stuff.
None of that stuff.
Nope. Although, if so, we'd have to film it for the fans only page.
Right. Wait, I haven't made that one yet. Sorry. Maybe that's for you to do.
With the way that my stuff goes sideways? Are you kidding me? Somehow we'll end up on some bestiality site and we'll not even have any critters on it.
Fans only. Yeah, I'm not so sure that I've on TikTok. I feel like I'm talking about TikTok way too much, but there are TikTokers who are guiding people on how to make a fans only page. And all of them are saying, yeah, your employer is going to find out. Can you imagine Neil and Dave coming to us saying, we heard you had a fans only page?
Well, I had a bit of I don't want to say scare. In talking with some of these individuals, I did get a little carried away and said things that I normally would not. I would normally not say to someone that was not sitting right next to me in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that at least the British fish, one of his tactics is to record and reuse the audio and video. So I fully anticipate my likeness being out there speaking to, catfishing other men. I get that. So I try to be mindful of what I do and say because of that. Well, I was not at one point. And when that went south, I got to thinking, oh shit, this stuff could... Because I know, Rose, you have told me one of the things that they do is take photos.
Yeah.
Try to get you to send nudes or whatever, and then they blackmail you. So anyway, I got to thinking, I'm like, oh my God, what if I was recorded at this moment? And I had to just put it in my mind, I don't care. And if it comes out, it comes out. which was really odd for me because I'm the type that rethinks things over and over and over.
Yeah.
And I just had to offer it up to the shenanigan gods and, you know.
Loki.
Yeah, Loki, exactly. Here you go, Loki, if you did this. You know what? That's what I'm going to have to do with the Loki paw on my foot. Is I'm going to have to do some Norse god stuff on that foot. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, squirrel! I have a tattoo that needs fixed, and it was from a dog named Loki. Anyhow, Loki the god. We'll just offer it up to him, and I had to just go, okay, if this comes out, it comes out. I'm not going to try to backpedal it. It is what it is. Blah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think I'm safe. But yeah, that was kind of a scary, like, cold sweat kind of, oh crap. And then, I'm doing it for you people! That's what that's going to be the story. If and when it comes out, you know, TMZ, you see.
Harvey Levin with a microphone in your face.
Well, if it was only a microphone in my face, then it wouldn't be an issue.
My.
Yeah, I didn't tell you about that. But you know what? Now that it's for the show.
So there is a bright side to the future unraveling.
Yeah, the future unraveling.
What may we find?
You never know.
New Year's, we're getting our business rolling. 2020 is going to be good for business.
2021.
Thank you, God. Let's not relive this shit again.
No. We'll find out in just 2 days if this is like Groundhog Year for real. We wake up and it's March 642nd or whatever.
It has been such a weird year. I really want to make a calendar of all of the things that have happened because it feels so
But I think that's
strange.
most of it's so negative. Why, you know, I wouldn't want to look at it.
Not to look at it, but just like, wow, did that really happen too? Did that really happen too? Did that really happen too? And I know that things aren't going to go back to the way they were.
Some of those things are good, though.
Some of them are. I am worried about the lack of contact between people who really like the contact and what it does mentally to shift, because I think that businesses may feel like maybe we don't have to pay office space because our employees did fine on Zoom and all of that. And now if they're not going to work, like when the dead body's in the apartment for 6 days, like nobody's checking on that body. Like there's just a lot of consequences.
Yeah, true. I think if we kind of reset, it would be good, you know, kind of going back to, I don't know, think about like the baby boomers, you know, everybody, not that I want to go backward in a lot of ways, but, you know, people had dinner at home and, you know, family was all together. And in those ways, I think it's good. Now, it's hurting the restaurant industry and it's hurting a lot of industries, but I feel like those are industries that were kind of had growth because of our, I don't want to say our laziness, but our lack of time to do things for ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so I do like that people are now doing more things for themselves, more home improvement, more cooking, more baking, learning new skills. And I think that's good. Mm-hmm. I'm just sad that, you know, other businesses are being hurt in the meantime.
Yeah.
Because we did get, as a country, got pretty lazy.
Mm-hmm. You
know, it's just easier to go and buy a meal prepared or hire someone to do something for us than to just figure out how to do it ourselves. And it might not be that hard if we just try. And so I like that we're trying to do things for ourselves more. Mm-hmm. I don't like that, you know, people are losing their livelihoods over it, but I don't think as a whole it's a bad thing that people are becoming more self-reliant.
I agree. Yeah.
And also I think a lot, we're seeing the compassion that's really out there. You
for
know,
sure.
that's a bright side. I think there was lots of compassionate people, but you just really see it more now. I don't remember if I mentioned this. There was just a quick story. There was a food pantry, and I think it was here in Ohio, but not in anywhere near Columbus, that had run out of food. They normally service about 40 families a month, and it had more than doubled during COVID. And they simply ran out of food. They had to shut the doors. There was nothing left to give. And someone that was coming to the pantry put it out on Facebook that, this had happened. And the community came together. And the next day, I forget how many, pounds of food and things were delivered, like 2,500 pounds worth of food or something. But people just started showing up with grocery bags, and you could tell like they went and got soup, but it was an entire, case of the soup, not just a couple cans. And to see things like that, it's awesome to see that the humanity is out there and we're not all assholes like is portrayed on TV and from our leadership. But
yeah, the coming together is really awesome. And I wish that more of that was reported on the news instead of the negative. It seems like they get ratings from the negative, and so the good that is happening is not always shown, and that saddens me.
Yes.
So we need a good news TV network. There is a website called the Good News Network, but it's not like, I don't know, it's something different. World news. Like it's not like today News at 6 shows the thrift store giving away blankets to homeless shelters. It's not anything like that. So,
well, good thing we'll just keep reporting our little tidbit a week.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're a bright spot for someone.
I sure hope so. So if you guys have bright spots, send them in to hello@brightsideofcrazy.com or Barbara@brightsideofcrazy.com.
Or Rose at brightsideofcrazy.com.
These podcasts are also on YouTube now, and I post them usually the night before. So if you want to sneak in the night before, it's usually going to be on YouTube the night before. It depends on how late the process magic happens to get the logo and the audio together. Sometimes that takes forever, and sometimes it's fast. So I don't know.
I don't know either. I have fairies that do that. It just happens. I talk into the talkie stick and stuff shows up on the interweb.
I assure you it's not that simple.
Thank you, Elf Rose.
So enjoy your new year as you ease into it. Don't burn yourself out in a week. Everything is good. Roll with the changes. And don't beat yourself up.
Nope. Go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Everything is changing, so...
Make yourself a better you.
Yeah.
But in your own time.
Yep.
No pressure.
No pressure.
We'll sneak you a cookie if you need it.
So until next week, shine bright, little stars.
Shine bright, you crazy diamonds.
Bye.
Bye.